All right, now on to the actual blogging part of it. There's two different things I want to show you when it comes to blogging, and there's kind of two different theories behind it. There's blogging for the search engines to be able to find you properly, and then there's blogging for your readers, your own personal style, your own personal sound, and you kind of need to find a happy medium between the two. So finding your own style and writing for your readers, that's going to come onto you, and that's going to something you're going to develop over time. But for actually writing for search engines and to hopefully get found and to get those initial readers in the first place, you need to write so that the search engines find you easier and you give them kind of what they're looking for. So that's what I want to go through first. I'm going to break this down into two different videos here. So what I've got is a pre-written article that I have for another client, not that I wrote, something that we can use as an example here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as the basis of optimizing a article on the web page in the very basic sense. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I'm going to create a new post here, and I'm going to show you all the different things that the search engines are looking for. So the first thing and the most important thing is going to be your title. This is everything. This is the first thing that people are going to see that's going to draw them into your page or your article or not, or is going to keep them from going in. Writing for the headline is really everything. If you Google that, you will find some great examples of headlines that work, that bring people in. You want to kind of stay away from clickbait, which is going to be the top 10 list of this, and number 7 blew my mind, or you won't believe what happened to so-and-so. You know, those things that are too kitschy that try to get people to click into your article. You want to be a little bit more professional, a little bit more unique, but still have keywords in the title of your article. So this is a good example of a header. 3 reasons. So it's a number. People love to see numbers. It just kind of it breaks it down, lets them know what they're getting into. 3 reasons you should invest in maintenance repair for your furnace. Now this has everything that the search engines will need, and it has everything that I think for the most part people would need. 3 reasons, maintenance, repair, and furnace. Those are going to be kind of the key words in there that are going to draw people in, and again, provide substance for the search engines to know what this is about. So let's think about these articles as we go through the next couple steps here as being like a high school book report. This is the title of your book report. All right, so let's get into the other parts here. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all this text that was from the article that was written. I'm going to go ahead and just paste it into here. Now, for the most part, this looks okay. I mean, it's just not real exciting. Everything is the same size, has the same distance, same color, all that kind of stuff. So what the search engines like to see, I should see an extra return there, is things using header tags. That's very, very important. These header tags are in here. And these, again, if you think along the lines of like a high school book report, these are the things that the heading 1 is the title of your book report. Heading 2 may be the title of a subtopic within that main title. And then as you go lower and lower, you can see each of these fonts get a little bit smaller, and header 3 is basically would be like a subheader of header 2, those kinds of things. So we really break down this stuff this way using these header tags. And what that does is it tells the search engines, okay, this is the main topic of the article. And then here are some main key points that are all titled header 2. And then things that relate to that header 2 would be considered a header 3 tag, and so on and so forth. Really, if you can have, usually by default, your title is a header 1 tag. Most themes will program it that way. If you can have 1 header 2 and maybe 2 or 3 header 3 tags, that'll be really good for the search engines. If you can add another one with a keyword or 2 in your header 4, that'd be great. I've really never used header 5 or 6, I don't think. I've never really gotten that deep into an article. But if you're planning on writing a deep, long article, that would be a great idea to do. So let's go ahead and read into here, and we can see, these little titles should be fairly short, so we don't really want to give it too long of a sentence to give this header tag. But you do want to make sure whatever you choose is fairly short and also has your keyword in it. So let's say this whole article is about furnaces, so we want to make sure whatever our header 2 tag is going to be, because remember this is going to be our header 1 tag by default, whatever our header 2 tag is going to be has the word furnace in it. And this one actually works out really well because this kind of reiterates the 3 reasons schedule preventative maintenance and repair of your furnace. So that associates those same keywords. That'd be a great header 2 tag. Now, because this is the 3 reasons, the 3 reasons, I'm going to go ahead and, because those are basically bullet points, those are subheaders of this subheader right here, I'm going to go ahead and just give those header 3 tags. For one, so they stand out nicely for readers, but also so that the search engines will see those as being important and will probably contain some of my keywords. Not always. You don't want to overstuff it. You don't want to put too much of that into there, but you can see that this one has life of your furnace. So that's a great one. Lower your monthly utility bills. That's all part of what we're talking about up here. 3. Keep your family safe and good health. All right, so that's important too. It doesn't have the word furnace in it or preventative maintenance, but you know, it kind of like all goes along with the rest of this. Again, you don't want to overdo it for the search engines. They will actually start to penalize you if you start to, you know, put furnace in every single thing here. So those are kind of best practices doing those. Now, a couple other little things you can do that's really going to help you out would be to link to other important articles. So let's say, this is my very first post, which it really is, and I need to show some authority. I want to show that I'm actually helping people and providing links to relative resources that they can find. So just kind of reading through here for the first time, I can see manufacturing commands, let's see. Oh, here we go. It's a perfect one. So here is something that may be very relevant to a reader, a recent research done by the EPA. So I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to do a Google search for them. All right, so the EPA has their own link. I'm going to go ahead and just copy that link. And I'm going to add a link to this to show that, hey, I'm trying to help my readers by, if they don't understand what the EPA is, here's a link to what it is. So pay attention to this part because you can do this a couple different ways. I've got the text highlighted that I want to link to. I'm going to click on the link icon, and in here I can just paste my URL. So I've pasted it in there. But if somebody clicks on this right now, by default, this page is going to close and the EPA website is going to come up. I want to change that by clicking on this little gear right here and say, open this up in a new window. So that way my website stays open and a new link opens up to the EPA website. So that's going to help keep readers on my site if they want to come back to it, but it's also providing good reference to resources that people could use to make my articles seem very helpful. If you have a couple of those that link out to other web pages that are very high, very relevant, very important websites, usually are going to be like Wikipedia links, links to the actual company or organization or whatever it is that you're writing about. Those tend to be very good links to link out to. Google looks at those as being authoritative links. So if you could do a couple of those, the other thing would be to link to other articles and pages on your website that are relevant. Now, I don't have any information on this website so far about HVAC stuff or about any kind of thing regarding this article. In fact, I really don't even have any other pages just yet. But if I did, I would link to those other articles. Like sometimes you may see someone may, after like a subheader area like this, may say related, and then I'll say like, you know, XXX, you know, whatever the name of the article is here, and the link to that article. So maybe I wrote another article about, you know, maintenance repair for your hot water tank as opposed to furnace or something like that that people may find equally helpful. That also helps the search engines then see that link and then read through that and move over to that and maybe index that other article as well. So those are some of the top things to do for that. One other thing is going to be to have a relevant photo on your website that has some of this information on it. So what I'm going to do, for the sake of this, I'm going to just Google, oops. I'm going to Google an image of a furnace. Now, you do not want to just go doing this and just throwing any old photo on your website, because that is copyright infringement. This is, you are not given rights to do that. But what you can do is maybe go to Google at images, and you can go into the tools and you can check on the usage rights here and say labeled for reuse or reuse with modification. So I'm going to say, okay, so this was actually labeled that I could reuse this. Still a little bit of a gray area here, but sometimes this works. So here's one. Okay, this is a Flickr, so I can use this. So I'm going to grab that image, and I'm going to add that photo to my website. So let's say maybe that's going to be my featured image, and I'll also put it in the article itself here. So I'll say add media. I'm going to do a couple things. So I've got this image over here. And it comes in with this crazy number. I'm going to rename it to just furnace maintenance. So having a good relevant name helps in the search results. I'm going to add that to my media manager. All right, so that's added over there. But one other thing I want to do down here is at least in the alt text, explain what that photo is. That's basically telling the search engines what your photo is. Without a good alt text, search engines don't know what an image is. They can't see things. They can just read text, they can understand text, but not images. So if I add some alt text of furnace maintenance and maybe even add that as a caption or description, I want this to be a full-size image. So I'm going to select that down there. Alignment, I could have this go to the left or to the right. I'm just going to say none. And then that's good right there. So I'll say insert that into my post, and we should see our image appear right in here. You can see that it added the caption. And all these things are great for the search engines. They're going to look at this and say, oh wow, he's got links, he's got header tags, he's got an image with an alt tag and a description. This is a well-optimized article. I could also just kind of click and drag and make that a little bit smaller there. And so I'm going to add this to uncategorized for right now. I want to do one other thing. I'm going to add my featured image. And okay, so good. So let's say I was like, you know what, this article rocks. I'm totally cool. I'm going to publish it. And let's see what it comes back with here. All right, so it published my article. I'm happy with it. But as I look over here, it's telling me that the readability needs improvement and the SEO is not available. So in the next video, I'm going to go through these more advanced features here and show you some ideas of things you can do to improve those two things.